On June 25th, 2025, we pause in solemn reflection as we honor a group of Americans whose journeys carved deep impressions in the world of politics, sports, film, and beyond. These lives, some long-lived, others tragically cut short, each tell a story of ambition, courage, and consequence. From racetracks to courtrooms, playing fields to public service, they shaped the pulse of their communities and the contours of national memory. Today, we remember their names, not just for what they did, but for the lives they touched. Rocky DeWitt brought grit, humility, and unwavering determination to public service. Born and raised in Iowa, he carried his rural upbringing like a badge of honor, always speaking up for farmers, families, and working-class citizens who are too often unheard in politics. Elected to the Iowa Senate in 2023, his legislative efforts focused on mental health, infrastructure, and revitalizing rural economies. Even while facing a devastating diagnosis of pancreatic cancer, he continued attending sessions, drafting bills, and meeting constituents. His strength in the face of pain spoke louder than any speech from the floor. Rocky's courage wasn't just physical, it was moral. He believed in practical solutions, in bipartisan progress, in doing the right thing when no one was watching. In just a short time, he made an impact that will echo through policies and people for years to come. His fight didn't end with cancer. It continues in every voice he empowered. Bob Heffner took the mound with resolve, humility, and a drive for excellence that never needed fanfare. A pitcher in the 1960s for the Boston Red Sox, California Angels, and Cleveland Indians, he competed in a golden age of baseball, when the game was pure, the ballparks were packed, and every pitch held potential magic. Though he never reached superstardom, Bob's contributions to the teams he served were meaningful and enduring. Teammates recall his work ethic, his calm under pressure, and his ability to lift others with subtle leadership. After retirement, he stayed close to the game as a mentor and youth coach, teaching young players about more than curveballs. He taught discipline, patience, and how to handle failure with grace. His life in baseball was more than a career, it was a calling. Bob Heffner reminds us that greatness isn't always measured in stats, but in the steady rhythm of a life well lived on and off the field. Richard Gerald Jordan lived behind bars longer than most people spend free, nearly 50 years on death row for a 1976 murder in Mississippi. His was one of the most enduring and controversial death penalty cases in American history. Over the decades, his legal status became a subject of national debate. Some saw him as a face of justice served. Others saw the system's inefficiencies reflected in his prolonged confinement. Appeals, reversals, resentencing, all shaped a legal journey that outlasted generations. Yet behind the legal headlines was a human being, a man whose remorse, aging body, and lengthy incarceration challenged society's views on punishment, forgiveness, and the true meaning of closure. Whether viewed as justice delayed or justice delivered, Richard's life and death force us to examine the very heart of our criminal justice system. His execution may be final, but the philosophical questions his case raised endure. Jerry Philbin was a powerhouse, a terror on the field, and a cornerstone of one of football's most iconic upsets. As a defensive end for the New York Jets, he helped secure the historic Super Bowl III victory, a game that redefined the balance of power in professional football. Known for his toughness, tenacity, and bone-crunching tackles, Jerry was twice named an AFL All-Star. His teammates recall not just his physical prowess, but his deep loyalty and quiet sense of duty. After football, he remained an active ambassador for the sport, promoting safety reforms and youth engagement. In his later years, he faced a daunting opponent in dementia, but even as memory slipped away, his legacy stood firm. Jerry's life reminds us that champions aren't only defined by rings, but by the strength of their spirit, both in battle and in decline. Pat Williams served Montana with integrity, compassion, and fierce intellect. A teacher turned legislator, he represented his state in the U.S. House from 1979 to 1997, where he became a champion of labor rights, educational equity, and the arts. His defense of the National Endowment for the Arts during political firestorms earned him national recognition and made him a hero to artists and educators alike. Pat believed in dialogue, in empathy across the aisle, and in the transformative power of storytelling. Long after retiring, he continued to write, lecture, and mentor younger public servants, always insisting that politics was not performance, but a responsibility. His Montana roots never left him, and his legacy continues in classrooms, libraries, and legislative chambers. He was not just a lawmaker. He was a public thinker, a defender of the soul of American democracy. Kylie Page rose quickly in an industry known for its brutal duality: glamour and isolation, attention and exploitation. In her short career, she became a recognizable name, an online presence followed by thousands, and a performer praised for her beauty and energy. But behind the scenes, Kylie struggled with the immense pressures that fame, scrutiny, and commodification often bring. Her suicide at just 28 years old has sparked national conversations about mental health agency and the unseen toll of adult entertainment. Beyond the headlines, Kylie was a young woman with hopes, relationships, and pain. Her life urges us to move beyond judgment, to humanize, to understand, to protect. Her voice is now part of a growing call for reform, support, and awareness in an industry that too often forgets the humanity of its stars. In her memory, may we build safer spaces, softer words, and stronger networks of care. Today, we remember and honor Boyd Adams, Rocky DeWitt, Bob Heffner, Richard Gerald Jordan, Jerry Philbin, Pat Williams, and Kylie Page. Their contributions to sports, politics, justice, and culture have left indelible marks on the fabric of our society. Through their work and dedication, they have inspired countless others and shaped the world in ways both seen and unseen. As we reflect on their lives, we celebrate their legacies, grateful for the enduring influence they leave behind. Rest in peace.